It is Monday morning, 10:20 a.m. And after a few days of I don't script my videos. I just don't. I think about it, I'm playing it, I think about it, get my thoughts around it, and then boom, I get it. And then I'm recording a video. Um, Same thing with Call of Duty Vanguard. Because to cut some corners and to immediately jump on that wagon, the conclusion wagon, it's an extremely dumb, broken, lazy uh, reskin of what we already know. It even has the glitches of Modern Warfare 2019, the shield glitch, for example. But a very tiny, narrow space is actually kind of fun. It's actually kind of fun. And for weeks, I've been mildly positive about this game, and I remain mildly positive about this game because it's still, if you're actually playing the game, the maps and the mechanics of the game, it actually plays pretty okay. But the question is it enough? Is it enough to hide eventually the issues I've always had with Call of Duty? Well, always the steady decline in quality is not something that started in 2019. It Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, or Advanced, or I don't even know it on top of my head. It was the first game that introduced the more enhanced running techniques or wall running techniques. Um, Black Ops 3 and 4, uh, that even World War II were not great games, and I'm not going into those games right now. I think we need to rewind the clock back to 2019, where we got Modern Warfare, and then Black Ops Cold War, Warzone, Vanguard, right? Because the reason why we need to start there is if you open up the menu right now, you start the game, those are the games you see. That's the new, well, it's not a new business model, but Modern Warfare 2019 not only started the total reskin constantly of the same game every year, it also started off to reskin the business model. Like we have something new, but it's still the old thing. It's the same monkey in a different suit, and that's what I always say. You can put a different suit in a monkey, but still the same monkey, right? Um, Warzone was in the last few years the best fresh new addition to the Call of Duty franchise, and it's still not different because battle royale is a pretty chewed out concept now, and uh, but what they're doing kind of good. And I think that Warzone has the potential of changing the business model and bring something fresh, but they're not doing it. So, Modern Warfare 2019. Let's just briefly go over it. The single player campaign, one of the most dull, laziest, linear run from A to B games I've ever seen, right? Um, they even stole sections of Michael Bay's 13 Hours Secret Soldier of Benghazi. You haven't seen the movie? Check it out. It's a great movie. There was a compound scene in there. They more or less copied it in a very bad way. So, forgettable single player. Spec Ops, let's not get into it. One of the most broken, glitchy, unnecessary bullshit addition to a game. Who's playing that, right? The multiplayer, the core of the Call of Duty right now, didn't appeal to me at all. At all, right? The only good maps were the old maps again, Shipment, the old maps from Modern Warfare you've seen. Um, so yeah, the only good addition was Shoot the Ship, which was kind of good map, but that's it, right? Now Black Ops Cold War. Only thing I liked was Nuketown, Standoff, Hijacked. Again, the old maps. The rest was horseshit, bullshit. It even was a step down in terms of graphics, and usually you don't play Call of Duty for the graphics. So that wasn't really great. Uh, the only single player campaign was okay ish, I guess. They tried something new with those additions on clues. You need to find it out. You need to have some form of puzzling going on. So that was kind of cool. Um, and then you got zombies. I liked the zombie mode in Black Ops Cold War. I liked it. I played the hell out of it, and I still like it. Still play it. I think that was a good zombie edition. I know the opinions are scattered around, but I think it was okay. It was okay. It was. But again, Black Ops Cold War, although built on a different engine, was more of the same what we already had in Modern Warfare 2019. Now, finally, Vanguard. Okay, let's start. The single player campaign. It's a game where Sledgehammer constantly spits in your face and just constantly tells you that you're a freaking retard. That's what they tell you constantly. There is even a section in there from Stalingrad where you crawl under a few boxes and it just has a rails from a kid's toy, a train toy underneath it, telling you this game is on rails. It's running from A to B with pointless characters, pointless scenes or environments that are just there and they don't make any sense. It's not about World War II. It's not. It's acting like World War II was some kind of an inclusive, diverse environment, which it wasn't. The only women that were in the forefront or in the front lines were in the Russian environment. They got that right in the Stalingrad mission because snipers were predominantly women in Russian army, but the rest wasn't so inclusive and diverse, my friends. World War II, different time, different age. Um, it's got nothing to do with World War II. Absolutely nothing. I'm a sucker for World War II. I've studied international European law. Nuremberg Tribunal is a big part of that. I did a thesis on World War II, but also the interbellum, which is the time between the First and the Second World War. It's got nothing to do with World War II, and really nothing. It's just a random collection with okay cutscenes. The cutscenes, and that's I think the only reason why I stuck around was to see the cutscenes, because they're pretty well manufactured. So they're pretty well, and they look very nice, especially on the PlayStation 5. They look very nice. But all in all, a extremely linear, forgettable, extremely lazy, pointless single player campaign. Played it once, you can delete it. It's got nothing. It's absolutely nothing. The zombie mode is how Treyarch made this. How can you create a zombie mode that has the potential to build further on what you already had in Black Ops Cold War, and then screw it over so hard? There are even weapons in there. If you pack a punch, you don't even get a pack a punch weapon skin. You don't even get the sound. It is overly lazy. It's dull, uninteresting. It doesn't make any freaking sense. It looks like that. Oh my god, we need to make zombies. We have a slot open. We have some room. And they finished it maybe 3 months before, and they start working on it 3 months before the release. It's horrible. Even the maps are horrible because they're. It's just the multiplayer maps. That's it. It's the multiplayer maps with no lights and a few zombies. Even the rounds don't count. So I I I played it for 45 minutes in total, and then I just put it aside. And then we come at the core, the multiplayer. Let's start with with the things we're not allowed to say, because your team, my team, it's World War II. We have the Germans, the Nazis, the Japanese, the Axis powers. You can call them like that as well. The Italians. Those were the Axis. We have the Allies. You have the US, the UK, the British, the Americans, even the Australians, the Canadian people. You've got so much. You can even put a faction of the resistance, La Résistance, France, right? You can do so much, but we're living in a very pathetic world that you can't say the truth. You can't spit facts, and people are easily offended. They're so offended that you can only choose from the same operators. And even those operators don't even make any freaking sense in the World War II environment. Why can't I choose to be on the Japanese side? Why can't I choose, or maybe I've been put in the Axis side, and you need to choose from a German guy, an Italian guy, or a Japanese guy? Why is it so hard for people absorb, um, just to absorb facts, history? This is it, you know. The Allied forces were fighting against the Germans, the Japanese, and up until a point also the Italian people. Fact. It is in a later stage when El Duce is arrested and killed that with the new leadership, the Italian people joined the Allied forces. We have the resistance in France. We have the Germans, Japanese. World at War got it right. You know, they got it right. If you want to make a game about World War II, make a game about World War II. You know, this whole woke, inclusive, diverse horse shit is just it's starting to be a pain in the ass. You know, facts, spit facts. Don't shy away from facts. There are so many people who have subjective issues with objective standards. Why? If my team, enemy team. Wow, Jesus Christ, why? There's no reason to do that. Okay, so that is also already the first horseshit dump you see in this freaking game. Everything needs to be inclusive, diverse, and we need to mind people's feelings constantly because oh my god, if we're spitting facts here. Okay, moving on. The maps are great. I haven't seen a map that I extremely dislike, and I think this is the best content addition I've seen in years in terms of new content. Yes, Dome is in there, so that's an old World at War map, which I think is still a great map. It looks good, plays good, fine, but shipment is there. It's a bit broken. I think they've made addition to it, but it's still fun. Das House is great. I think it's a great new. I think it even can be an iconic map moving forward. So that's great as well. So in terms of content, it's pretty well. It's pretty good. In terms of gameplay and mechanics, they changed a lot since the beta and the alpha, which no doubt is a good thing because the beta and the alpha were absolutely dog shit. So movement is quick, it's fun, good paced. The guns feel good, and yes, of course, there are overpowered guns. People say, yeah, it's STG 44, MP40, all over the place. Yeah, but that has always been Call of Duty. In every Call of Duty, you have overpowered guns for that matter. And I must say, in every first person shooter, you have overpowered guns. It's up to skill to bypass that. Full stop. Point. Glitches and issues. Wow. There are so many glitches and issues in this game in terms of the final kill cam you've seen at the beginning. The MVP screen that sometimes just buggy as hell. At the beginning, when your team is introduced, sometimes you're watching a screen that has absolutely no operators in there. You have the riot shield glitch that was already in there in Modern Warfare 2019. So there are so many technical issues with this game. Packet burst. How many of you already experienced that? On PC, practically unplayable. Maybe I'm cutting some corners here, but it happens a lot on PC. But also PlayStation 5. The game just dies on you sometimes. It just dies on you. So, in terms of optimization, there's a long way to go. I do like the addition of the Champion Hill, although it is just practically one map. You know, it's got four sections, but I must say I'm really keen to see what they're going to bring there. I like the single mode. You can now only play duos and trios, but I think they got something going on there. You know, in terms of content, maps, this edition, it's kind of fun. Overall, this is just a reskin. You are buying a $70, $80, and if you're going to buy the battle passes, maybe 100 plus dollar for a complete reskin of Modern Warfare 2019. The gunsmith is the same. The leveling up system is the same. But they were so freaking lazy that they didn't even implemented the progression system well. You know what happens when you turn prestige? Nothing right now. It's preseason, but nothing happens. Literally nothing. If I look at the calling cards and the emblems, they don't even explain why you want it. You need to go back into the menus of the challenges and then find it and then see what you've done to obtain it. Usually, just when you have obtained it and you're in there to select an emblem or a calling card, then you can see what you've done for it. It's not in there. It's not. So there are so many loopholes and tiny issues that what they've done is they took from 2019 3 years to develop maps. That's what they did. And they reskinned Modern Warfare 2019. I must say, they did upgrade the engine in such a way that it looks better than every previous Call of Duty. It doesn't look that bad at all. So the amount of fun I'm having is from a very tiny, narrow place called multiplayer when the game actually runs. Then I'm having fun because the maps are pretty good to really good. And when the game runs fine, then you're having a blast. But if you take out that very tiny aspect, then you see so many issues in terms of glitches, issues, optimization, progression that's not working. You got those old glitches from Modern Warfare 2019, and especially the woke bullshit. This is not a World War II game. It is not. And if you go on Google and you search for this game, the Google search engine gives you back Call of Duty World War II Vanguard, the best World War II game out there. It is not, because it's not a World War II game. You want to play a World War II game? Go play Hell Let Loose. That is a proper World War II game. A proper World War II game. I'm not gonna make content out of it, but I'm playing it a lot right now. It's actually a ton of fun, and it really gives the World War II feeling. Call of Duty Vanguard is a made up, bullshit, inclusive, diverse, woke reimagination of Modern Warfare 2019. That's it. I think it's actually, you can actually say that it's a spit in the face of all those brave men and women that contributed to bring peace to this planet in 1945 or in those 5 years. It's a spit in the face for um, everybody that has fallen. 60 million people died in World War II. If you want to make a proper World War II game, make a proper World War II game. This is a spit in the face of all those people. Full stop. Full stop. If you're not even allowed or allow yourself to just name the facts, right? So the game overall is dumb, lazy, and just a continuation of something we've seen already. The game is a perfect example of the franchise fatigueness we see in Call of Duty. Every year, the same game. The annual release cycle is destroying this game. It is destroying this game. So my advice would be to stop the annual release cycle and really start working on the game, support the game, update the game, and make the game relevant as an homage also to the past. If you want to do a World War II game, do a World War II game and name the facts. That's what we need to do. In terms of glitches, issues, there's going to be a lot of patching. And I don't see Sledgehammer really pushing hard. As it was Thanksgiving, all the devs are on holiday. But come on, guys. This is, and it's something you see in the market across the board. All those AAA games, they are being hurt by issues, lack of content, other bullshit. You see with Battlefield 2042. I even saw with Halo Infinite. Yak Man made a perfect video out of that. You know, I'm not a Halo guy. I played some Halo. I like it, but I can do it. I can understand where the community is coming from when they're just ranting on that. So dumb, kind of fun, a very small way. This was Movement 6. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new here, drop a like, subscribe, hit those notifications buttons, and back to the madness, guys.